Hello and welcome to Kerbal Space Program Kerbalism. My name is Seth. In our last episode, we were able to get a Kerbal to orbit Kerbin and successfully returned Valentina back to the planet. And I'm now looking at getting two craft up in orbit and docking them together. Possibly doing an EVA at the same time because I haven't EVA'd yet. Because I don't feel I'd want to EVA without a second, like any means of rescue should something go wrong. So it's probably best if I do an EVA with two craft docked together, with two Kerbals up there. So to do this, I'm going to use the basic design we had for the last one, the Ophelia. Except with some slight changes. Now I know I need to replace those because there's just not enough thrust. Correction, there's not enough delta V provided by those with the increase in weight. And that's not clicked correctly. Much better. How much are the parachutes that we on there? They have a massive 0.2, whereas just an ordinary nose cone. Ordinary nose cone it is. Now I'm just going for weight. I don't get saved anyway. So that should probably do it. So with the Thumper SRBs, you can see here we have docking port, radial parachutes, I've got monopropellant, I've got a few experiments inside the service bay, blood sample, eye sample, and magnetic image at a point at the sun. There's more the monopropellant fuel cell, and they're just tins of monopropellant essentially. And I've also increased the monopropellant in the actual vehicle itself. We're going to increase the food, water, and oxygen to 5 days, because that will give us time to get up there, dock, orbit, do the experiments, EVA, and return. Should be plenty of time. So we're going to save that. Just check the staging, because that's all gone out of whack now, because we moved stuff. Yeah, that's better. Excellent. Well, we also moved the antenna down to the side, so we will lose that when we decouple. Correction, when we separate the orbital stage, but that's fine because we're going to get the experiments out of there anyway, I think. So let's have a look at what we've got time-wise. And essentially what we'll do is, so this will be the Ophelia 3 craft. We'll create the Ophelia 4, change the science experiments, we'll modify it to be the same, and we'll launch it. So let's time warp a few days. Wait for game to change scene. And we have Jebediah, because they are the only two pilots I have at this point in time. If KSP doesn't crash on me. Hi, welcome to Kerbal Space Program Scene Change. Okay, nitrogen reserves are getting low, that's fine. I did not thrust limit these, so we're going to space in an awful hurry. So that's the LFO, the SRBs. No thrust from the liquid fuel. Yeah. Hold on, Jeb. This is gonna get nasty. So I read the instructions, some of the instructions for Kerbalism. Turns out that there is radiation zones. So I think so long as you are within those areas, you are fine. Crossing those boundaries, you will incur a high level of radiation. So at this stage, we have not done that, so we're fine. We shouldn't need too much radiation shielding, but dang, we're going to hit a thrust to weight ratio of 3. Atmospheric efficiency is getting up there. We're hoofing it. Increase the LFO, jettison. Okay, good. Now, hopefully, wow, what a ride, Jeb. What a ride. So we're going to put this into about an 80 kilometer orbit, I think would be just a nice number. And again, crew report from the launch pad. I should have got all the experiments from the launch pad. Well, I didn't even action key them either, so that's going to be real difficult because I don't want to open the bay and potentially damage them. So yeah. So yeah, with the that's the toroidal one around Kerbin. This is the polar one, and this one I believe is the flux from the sun. I say flux, and this is all of them together. Now I say it's flux from the sun. I might be misunderstanding that, so don't quote me on that. So okay, apart from the failing to set action groups, failing to get experiments from the launchpad again, and the failing to throttle the SRBs on takeoff, this isn't too bad. I mean, he's still alive, so I mean that's something, right? So we're getting there. 30 seconds to stage completion. Apoapsis 55 kilometers. Thrust to weight 2.5. This is so far not too bad. We've got enough delta V to do what we need to do, even through our inefficient launch, which great. I'm tempted even to push this out to about 100 kilometers rather than 80, but we'll see. Only 10 seconds left on this stage. 5, no, 7 seconds. I'll tell you what, we'll just let this stage run out, and where we end up was where we end up. 3, 2, 1. There we go. Not bad. Get rid of that stage. Let's have a look. We'll burn to circularize. Still got plenty of fuel. About 90 kilometer orbit. Okay. That's fine. Fine. Okay. Don't use the RCS. It's huge amounts of it. We need to save some of that for fuel. So now we're here. Let's open while I'm barely in the atmosphere. Let's see if we can't get these experiments. I think one of them needs to point at the sun. Experiment only operates closely around Kerbal. Okay, so I need to get that experiment around the sun. Wonder. Able to get that. Those two experiments then. What have I got? A skin sample and an eye sample. And let's open that and activate fuel cell. Okay, and start the engine. Oh, also gave Jebediah a golf club too. He wants to play golf. He doesn't. So we'll make sure we grab that when we go EVA. Okay, so it's a 9-second burn. to make that burn. So now I'm pulling just two plus Gs to make this burn. Not burn too much. That's just over 3 Gs now, and we'll probably hold it around about 3 Gs. Just the duration. Okay, there we are. 94 by 88. I was actually meant to ditch nose cone. Wait, the lights. That changed the charge? Nope. We'll get the lights on there as well. So then take magnet. Okay, so that's gonna need to get that thing close to the sun. Which, yeah, okay, we'll work on that. So that's pretty much that. Jebediah safely in space. So what we might do then, we've got 5 days. So need to make sure that we don't miss this. Sorry about the banging. So what we can do is go to the morning, the 8, 99, day 200. So now let's go and have a look at the Ophelia 4. And we'll launch this and see if we can't dock them together. I open up that craft. Thrust limit it. For those. So it's the same basic craft, the same except the experiments are different. And we're going to modify the action groups this time. Action group 1, we've got a skin sample, we've got a tentacle sample, and we've got, actually we'll go to, will be observe the materials bay. So we'll close that, save that, and I think fix the staging. That should be good to go. So let's fly this. Now, because we're going to have to dock, we'll want to wait until we get in line with the Ophelia 3 craft. I I should say that any errors, any issues, any malfunctions like running out of oxygen, food, water, it's just going to be an immediate abort and I'll bring the craft back home. Okay, so nitrogen reserves are low, yep, that's fine. So one, there we go. Identical sample keep, skin sample keep. Okay, so rendezvous, probe. It's a ship actually because it's a person, Ophelia 3. I need to wait to the phase angle. The phase angle is 311. That would be ideal. That will give us a 1 orbit rendezvous. I know you can do a direct ascent, so you don't even have to orbit. By the time you get up there and actually do your orbital burn, you are at the craft and pretty much docking there and then. But it's a little bit, there is no room for error. You've got to be spot on, and I just not. So, alright, 309, 310, close enough. Not showing me met, okay, whatever. So, engines off, ignite, throttle up, light the candles. Come on, get to space. There we go, now I've got a met. And so you can see the crew report launch pad again. The immediate difference in thrust, it's, I didn't have enough thrust immediately because I wasn't throttled up. I was only at about 2/3 throttle. And so if we have a look at the location, you can see that we're taking off here, and that's the Ophelia 3. Probably going to be aiming for 94.88, so it's going to be around about 88, 92, 92. So if I make my apoapsis just shy of 92, that will be good. So let's grab that flying experiment. So far so good. Thrust to weight ratio up at around 2. Let's just bring that back. Atmospheric efficiency will be starting to get high. I want to probably try and keep that below around 60. And there you go, you can see we've start to turn now. Yeah, as we come up through this at about 400 meters per second, that atmospheric efficiency really increases. $15 seconds on the SRVs. Just doing a little bit of rotation. Nothing too much to worry about. We can counter it with the swivel. 7 seconds. Now pulling 2.5 Gs, that should change 3 seconds as the SRBs separate. Throttle up the LFO, 100%. Separate. So, good. So far so good. They're going to collide. Nope. So we're gonna burn until about our apoapsis is around 91 kilometers. Apoapsis now at 80 kilometers. Thrust to weight 2.7, pulling 2.3 Gs. So far everything's going pretty good. And not quite so. Oh, there you go. We can just make out the craft. Start the throttle back just a little bit now. Yeah, we're not going to make 91, but we'll make 90 and that's good enough. Cut the engine, separate. Make sure the engine's turned off. Ignite the next stage, but let's not do anything. Happened there? Nothing? Sounded like something happened. Okay. So now, 1 minute and 40 seconds to plot this burn. And this is probably the most time critical part. What you should see is as we get in orbit, our distance we should be able to get really close. So we're looking here. So that's not real close at all actually. Normally actually these two over where we are. That's not happening for us. Okay, so we're going to concentrate on this. We're going to be docking on the dark side. That's not great. 28.3, that's pretty terrible, but we're going to have to go for it. So I'll make this burn and then we'll do probably a second and probably a third adjustment. It's maybe an abort. Couple, get rid of that. So let's do this burn. It's on ever so comfortable 3 Gs. Jot that back down to about 2.5. Yes, certainly not the best I've ever done, but we'll make do. Just keep an eye on these two distances here. That should come into what we were expecting. Okay, so about 26 kilometers. Now we can adjust this. That's achievable. So let's grab our science experiments. Let's observe the materials bay. Keep that. Recording the data will remain to this module inoperable. Restoring the functionality will require a scientist. Not a problem. Let's record the data. I'm hoping I can actually pull the data out. Anyway. And let's turn on the fuel cell. So let's then plot. Where am I? Let's plot another burn, probably at the ascending node. That's probably where most of the problems come about. 6 ascending node, 6, 2 wrong way, this way. So now, interestingly enough, keep an eye on this one. Here you go. Separation. Well, there we go. That's what I'm more expecting. So this should bring our separation down to 9.7. Now, if we have a look at what a few other options can do. Come on. Nothing too much. So let's do that burn. Also going to throttle limit the engines. Just so that I don't make a massive mistake. If I accidentally go full throttle, then at least I'm only doing 10% of the carnage as opposed to 100%. Burn this at probably about a third power. What is that? How does that work for us? Burn a little bit more. Nope. So that's pushing us the other way. Okay, great. Now, if we look at this location here, okay, and I'm just going to keep modifying these until separation. 8.9, 0.7, 5, 4, 3, 2, here we go. Bring the separation down just ever so gently, poking so that now we're within There you go, because now that's going to put us within 500 meters, which is enough to eyeball it. That's an easy objective. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I will probably leave this episode here, and we will do that final burn and rendezvous docking in the next episode. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit me up in the comments down below, and I'll talk to you again next time. Bye for now.